why don't we get in our cars and we'll go.
Done this.
Outside of Ford Motor Company? None.
She wanted to start it.
Yeah, she's gonna start it. Yeah, the foot has to, you don't need the key. It's sad.
Where's the emergency brake? Make sure it's in park.
That's all right.
Now what?
Okay, foot on the brake and hit the red button. So in the GT500, what we've done is we've tried to balance the packages between the carbon fiber track package and the standard or the entry GT500. The entry GT500 is your quarter mile car, right? Is the car that will be the fastest in the quarter mile. And if you are a straight line person and you want to go the fastest in the quarter mile, you go with the GT500. If you want to have the all-out track beast, that is the carbon fiber handle or carbon fiber track package that we have here. Now, we've done some things with the carbon fiber through the aero to balance the downforce for the road courses. So there's more than 550 foot-pounds of pressure, more than 200 pounds more than the GT350R in the carbon fiber track package. So when you have to balance between the straight line and the road course, our engineers have optimized the calibration and the speed to maximize both, basically. So what we've done is we've speed limited it to 180 miles an hour to get the best performance out of both the straight line and the left and right cars. I've been around the performance vehicles and racing since about 1999. Started with Team Ford Racing and SVTOA. I had the pleasure to work with Gary and Vince and the entire Shelby American team, working directly for Carol from 2007 through 2011. And then in 2011, I went back before Carol passed away Carol wanted me to do the Shelby stuff on the Ford side. So kind of like Edsel Ford and Klaus Arning before me in the 60s crew. Where's our original Venice crew? I worked at Ford, worked at Shelby, then came back to Ford Motor Company. For those of you who have not seen, Aaron Shelby is here today. Aaron is Carol's grandson, and he is part and parcel of what the Shelby brand is going forward. Henry Ford III, who was the Ford Performance Marketing Manager, now he's in global strategy. He is the next generation, obviously, of the Ford family. And what better way to celebrate Carol's legacy than in 2012 at Laguna Seca for the Monterey Historics, we had Aaron and Henry draw straws to see who was going to drive the tribute car to lead the pace car, to lead those cars racing. It was the Cobras. It was 50 years of the Cobras, to lead that Cobra group. My point for bringing this up is between the Ford family and the Shelby family, enthusiast events like us that we do here, that we all enjoy, have a very good future because we have great people and great leaders in the next generation who will be there. One of the things that I cannot tell you, and a lot of you who have known, I was on the Ford GT program before this. I am so glad to be back here doing this. Woo! And so happy to be able to launch this Shelby GT500. I think, and if you're hearing some of the press briefings, that Carol is looking down from up above and smiling his off because of what this car is capable of. When we were doing the Shelby GT500s back in 07, and for those of you who are going to the banquet tonight, you'll see some video that most people haven't seen before. Carroll always said that he wanted more horsepower. I mean, it was hilarious. He'd sit with Derek Kuzak, who was the chief engineer at the time, and he wouldn't be, I was his bag holder, and he'd walk into the meeting, and I could hear the voices going back and forth, but one of the words that you could hear coming out there was horsepower. So when we first launched the GT500 in 07, we first came out and said that it was 450 horsepower. Then we came back, and Ellen Collins, who was the chief program manager at the time, she retired after this program, when she launched it, she said, well, maybe I can get you 475. And they went through it, and we announced 475. And then when we went and announced at New York Auto Show with the car, when we had Carroll up there, we announced that the 500 horsepower piece was there. There's a trend going here, right? So we did it with Shelby American and the SVT team. We did the Shelby GT500 KR, which was 540? 540. We did the cold air kit, different calibration, different suspension. 1112, we went to the aluminum block. Now, not much horsepower, although the base got the calibration, the 540 that we got. Then 1314, and it was so much fun. It was Carroll's last public appearance when we were at the LA Auto Show, and he's up there, and I can always remember him saying, it's got 662 horsepower, and it goes 200 miles an hour. And you could see Al, the GM Camaro chief, in the audience, and he was just like, and that was special for Carroll. That was 662 horsepower. So fast forward to the 2020 Shelby GT500. Only one person noticed, and who was the one who said the plus plus? Who asked me about the plus plus before? So he comes up and he's like, what's the difference? I've seen 700 plus and 700 plus plus. What the team decided was, unlike 07, we're not going to give a number, and then another number, and then another number. Because the team, like in 07, is continuing to work up until the bitter end, when we have to declare to the federal government what our gas guzzler and fuel economy is. So they're going to keep working. Carl Widman and his team, with Ed Krenz, are going to keep working on that horsepower. So that's why we're saying it's 700 plus plus. For those of you who've heard my GT spiel before we announced the final horsepower there, I said, hey, we say over 600, but it's not 601, right? That's why the second plus is there. There's going to be at least one other number after the 7 and before the third number that we hope will surprise and impress you. At 700 plus horsepower, with a supercharger and the 5.2 liter, and unlike the GT350, the cross-plane crank, that thing is generating a ton of heat. So we needed the airflow to go through, and when you're generating that much airflow through, it's the largest extractor we've ever put on a Mustang. And for those folks who just do the cars and coffee, there's a tray underneath there so it can keep your engine pretty. You, for us, like here today, want to take it off the track, you can lift it up and take it off with your finger so you can get the airflow through there, which is what it was designed to do. It's dead pedal over here on the left. This is about all-out performance. This is the fastest Mustang road course we've ever done. It is the fastest Mustang drag strip we've ever done. It is the fastest Mustang 0 to 60 we've ever done. It is sub-11, mid-3s, and it's not just 10.99. The best way I can put it, straight out of the factory. You go to your test and tune, they might ask you next time to come back, roll cage and helmet, because it's going to be that fast. The first time in the dealerships since 1970, we will have the GT350 and the GT500 there. So if you do want that third pedal, and a lot of us do, because maybe we're not going to be racing for somebody at some point in time, we want to enjoy it, that GT350, the 19, and for those of you who've seen it going around the track, it's substantially faster. And the GT350R, they are still top of the line performance cars, but if you want your third pedal, you can get it there. This vehicle that you see here, this is one of 4 vehicles. And I'm gonna lead you up with Aaron up this piece. We're gonna pull aside and you're gonna follow Gary in the GT350. This is a vehicle prototype. It is one of 4 on the planet right now. This is the first event, private event, that we've taken this vehicle to. We do the auto shows. We did the Barrett Jacksons, the big type of events. The first event for a private place that this car should be shown is here. with the Team Shelby folks celebrating the Shelby Bash here in Vegas. So we are glad to be here. All right, why don't we get in our cars and we'll go.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.